Welcome to the Strive for Five podcast, brought to you by the Warrensville Heights City School District. My name is Donald Jolly, and I have the honor of serving as the superintendent. The Strive for Five is our initiative to earn 5 stars on the next report card. Currently, the district stands at 3.5. Our teachers, our principals, our scholars, our parents, all one team are working to get to the 5 stars. Today, I have the honor of introducing our great elementary principal Takiba Thompson. Ms. Thompson's been with us for 9 years and serving in various different roles as principal, and today we have her. Thank you, Ms. Thompson, for being my first guest on our podcast. Ms. Thompson, as we start the show today, could you just tell us a little bit about your background and how did you get here?
Sure. I am a proud graduate of urban education from Cleveland Municipal School District. I attended Baldwin Wallace College and then Cleveland State University. I came out and began teaching in a charter school, teaching special education, grades K through 8. I also became a dean at that same charter school. And then 9 years ago, I made the transition into Warrensville Heights City School District as principal at that time of John Dewey Elementary School, grades pre-K through 2nd.
Tell us a little bit about how you felt when you got that first principal job. You said you were a dean, and you jumped from a dean to a principal. You never served as an AP. Just tell us about your thought process as you went through that.
Initially, I was very nervous. However, as soon as I got here, the support was overwhelming. Having support from the actual superintendent, from different departments such as curriculum, such as human resources, pupil services, special ed department, everybody providing that support, as well as walking into a well-established teacher team, it really helped me transition to be a first-year principal.
Yeah, so was there any challenges? You said you came in support, you were a dean. It was like a different role. I think you shared with us in the past that you were dean of special education. Now you got the whole package. Just tell us about that, expanding your horizons and now looking at all the students, but having a particular focus on your special needs students.
It was definitely a learning curve. I definitely had to switch lenses in regards to what I'm looking at, who I'm servicing, because I'm no longer servicing just a group of students. I'm servicing the whole entity, the whole school. Was very excited to learn about how the building was already running, the different programs. Had to learn everything about preschool, had to learn everything about looking at standards, preparing scholars for 2nd, 3rd grade testing. So it definitely was a change in pace of learning. Once everybody took on their position and their role in the team aspect, our teachers were definitely on board. We made sure that the teachers and the scholars had curriculum, and we kind of looked at what curriculum we were using and what we need to add to make sure that all components of literacy was taken care of.
So you talked about literacy. How important was literacy to your Strive for Five at that time and now? How important is literacy? And could you tell us some of the initiatives that you undertook as the principal in relation to literacy?
Literacy is one of the most important components, along with social emotional learning, for our scholars to do well and excel in school. We looked at the lowest level of literacy, which is phonics and phonemic awareness. We had to make sure that our scholars were being exposed to hearing the sounds, learning the sounds, writing the sounds, knowing the sounds, putting those sounds together to make words. We looked at a new curriculum. We brought that in. We made sure that our staff was trained properly, in that we rolled out a lot of different initiatives just to make sure that our kids was being exposed, that they were excited about learning, and that our staff was very well informed on how to teach phonics, phonemic awareness, and then we began to move up to reading and reading fluency, as well as vocabulary and comprehension. So we will have some sense of a focus every year on a different component of literacy just to make sure that our scholars got it. I recall at John Dewey we had one big focus around sight words at the time, where it was sight word. We turned it into planets, and they were learning about the planets, and they were getting incentives when they learned the list of sight words to help them read more fluently.
So what was the biggest challenge? I mean, you knew principal, a pretty established staff, failing grade. What was the biggest challenge?
I think the biggest challenge was the trust factor. when anyone new comes on board, there's a sense of trust. People are unsure of motive, passion. So gaining the trust of the community, gaining the trust of the scholars, gaining the trust of the staff, as well as the staff all over the district to ensure that we stay true to the goal of one team, one vision, one goal. We wanted to keep that at the forefront and just making sure that our scholars came first and their education came first because, in essence, that's why we are here.
So tell me a little bit more about, you talked about social emotional learning. And we're just talking about John Dewey because we're going to get to your next assignment. How did you help your staff develop positive relationships with your students?
So I would say since I walked into education, relational capacity has always been important for me, especially with teaching students with disabilities, understanding that scholars respond differently, understanding that things happen at home that are beyond our control. That's a contribution to how and why our scholars respond a certain way. So I just walked in before we even got big on the term social emotional learning. It was more so of building relational capacities, making sure that scholars can trust you, and if they have a problem, they can come to you with that problem, and how you respond is going to let them know if they can come back again. So when I walked in the door at John Dewey as a first-year principal, having those conversations with teachers about being a professional, how we respond, is also teaching our scholars how to respond as well.
So we fast forward. Now you're the principal of a K, but it's not 1 to 5. You were the principal of pre-K to 5. Tell us about the transition of adding additional grades and probably 300, 400 or more students. How did you handle that transition?
That transition was a tough transition. However, because of the support of the district by way of the different departments that we have in the district, definitely the support of the staff, knowing that all three different buildings coming together for one building, we had amazing staff in each and every building. So the teacher support really helped bring everything together. I am very blessed in this building because I do have things like a social worker, and guidance counselors, and SEL teacher, culture coaches to kind of help be the gel in all the grade levels. And then we have school-wide initiatives such as PBIS. We're all on one page now with the same curriculums. And so all those things help tie us together. And then I am, as the principal, ensuring and facilitating that everything is running well.
So you merged 3 schools together. Again, they had 3 different principals at the time, so I would commend you on such a great job of bringing. It's very difficult with one staff, but when you bring 3 together, 3 different cultures, 3 different expectations, that's a great feat that you did. But let's go talk about expectations. So we are a 99% African American district. Studies tell us that most of the time when African American students are present, there's low expectations. What do you do to ensure that your teachers have high expectations, and how do you hold them accountable to those high expectations?
Definitely the conversations. I feel like as the leader of the building, how I project myself, also I'm modeling that for them. And so my conversations with parents, I beg for parents to have conversations if they are feeling uneasy about something. I'm always saying that my teachers are easily accessible. I am easily accessible, so when we have issues, then we make sure we want to address those issues. When it comes to accountability, the old saying, treat others as you want them to treat you. And I feel the same way. I want my child to be treated well. All my staff members want their child to be treated well. So it is the expectation that they treat our scholars well. And so when we run up against those issues, then there are conversations that we have, one-on-one in regards to what we need to do to be better and to make sure that everybody is holding those high expectations. I would say it's fairly easy to do for the most part, because when we look around, we are in a predominantly African American community as well as school district, but it's so refreshing to see that our African American scholars have advantage to have a brand new building. We got the best of the best facilities. We have brand new curriculums. They have resources here in the building that are accessible to them. So they have everything that they need and more. And so along with the tangible things, the interactions should be equally valuable.
So with that, you have all the resources, you have all the support, or you have a lot of support. I know sometimes support can vary based on situations. Um, the kids have to pass this OST exam. The district is judged on tests. Tell me, as an educational leader, how do you know what the students know? How do you know if they learn the information? And tell us, what do you do about it if you find out they don't learn? So the first part of the question, how do you know what the students need to know per grade level? Like, what is the district's, and of course I know what the district's thing is, but we want the people to know. What do you use to measure what a first grader should know at the end of first grade?
So how we know is by way of assessments. Our scholars do take organized assessments in this district. We do have beginning of the year, middle of the year, and end of the year assessments so that we can kind of gauge how our scholars are doing throughout the year. How do we know what they need to know? We are judging that by way of our Ohio State standards, as well as preparing them for those Ohio State assessments. And so as we are teaching and using the curriculum that's provided by the district that has been researched, research evidence curriculum, we are using that to inform instruction. We are very fortunate at the elementary school to where we are able to build in some intervention time. And so as we are teaching and we realize that scholars are not learning certain concepts the first time around, we have a period called no new instruction, and that's 1 hour per day where teachers and intervention teachers can actually pull scholars to the side in small groups and reteach and catch them up on the things that they may have fallen behind on for different reasons.
So what if a student already knows the content? What have you done to
Then
accelerate
that becomes an enrichment opportunity for that scholar, and that teacher can move on to what's coming, what's up and coming, or build upon the knowledge that the scholar already knows. We do have a group of scholars in our building who are very well accelerated. Right now they are working with our librarian who has a lot of reading credentials, and they're doing different book studies and things like that, and they are looking ahead for that test that's to come in April.
So for those who don't work in the school and they think the principal just walk around and just deal with discipline and so forth, just talk about your weekly meetings with your teachers when you are reviewing what the students know, and how you and the teachers talk about the curriculum and talk about how the lessons might be adjusted. Could you just give us just a short synopsis on your data meetings and your TBT meetings?
Sure. So every week in our building we have a data meeting on Wednesdays. We are reviewing data. Sometimes the data is 2 or 3 weeks old because it takes us that long to really analyze the data, looking at the trends in the data, looking at the students, as well as looking at the content. And so we are having these lengthy conversations as a grade level team. Each grade level team meet with myself, as well as our reading coach and our math coach, and our academic coordinator. So we are all at the table. We're talking about the data, we're talking about the trends, we're talking about next steps. And then the following day, which is a Thursday, we have something called teacher-based team meetings, and that is more teacher-led, and they are talking about the standards that they are teaching. They're talking about strategies. They are sharing ideas, and this is what worked for my class. You should try this out, or this is where we had a problem at. What can we do now? So there's frequent opportunities for teachers and administrators, as well as coaches, to sit down and talk specifically about scholars, specifically about content, specifically about trends, and then what are we going to do next about it.
So for those that don't know, Ms. Thompson really doesn't sit in her office. She has a rolling office. I perceive that as being inspecting what you expect. Just give us a short synopsis on how you inspect what you expect on a daily basis.
Part of that is just me being visible and present. Anytime I walk past anybody, I'm speaking. That helps with culture. That's modeling behavior that you want to see. I do have a rolling cart that has everything on it, from my laptop to a bag of Band-Aids. So I want to make sure that we are present, we are visible, we are doing any and everything that we can do to remove any barrier that's going to stop teachers from teaching and from kids being educated. So we are always prepared to do whatever we need to do to help out a teacher as well as help out a scholar.
So you talked a lot about the academics. So let's talk about the engagement and social emotional learning. Could you tell us some of the things that your school does to address social emotional learning, but also student engagement? What type of programs and activities do you have here that can motivate a student to come to school that want to be here? And I know you have a lot. So just give us a short synopsis, because I think the world needs to know all the great things that you're doing here to engage students, because we know the academic part, you have a system that is foolproof, that has proven success, but the other part of it is getting these young African Americans, kids to want to be here and feel valued. Could you just talk about that a little bit?
So our whole SEL system is built on PBIS, and so that is the foundation of what we're doing here. Every morning we meet and greet our scholars in the building. They eat breakfast. They are also then moved to the gym where they have time to like have fun and laugh, and they sit with their classmates, and we have our culture coaches in there, and sometimes they play music, and sometimes if it's someone's birthday, we are honoring birthdays in the morning. So scholars feel really good when they walk in the building. Our teachers then take them to class. We have morning announcements. Every morning we have morning announcements. We talk about our PBIS expectations. We give a fun fact of the day, and then we send our scholars on their way to learn. Throughout the day, we have different Tier 2 activities based on student needs. So if a child has a need, if a child is dealing with grievance and things in that nature, they have an opportunity to see their Tier 2 person. We also have different incentives for PBIS. We have something called Paw Mark. So our scholars get to earn Paw Bucks. And anytime they are displaying positive behaviors, our teacher or anybody else in the building can provide them with a Paw Buck. Every 2 weeks, our scholars get to count their Paw Bucks, which is also a life experience and a standard. And they get to spend it at Paw Mart buying whatever they want. We make sure that Paw Mart is stacked with things that kids love. Toys, fidgets, snacks, different things in that nature to kind of engage them in the PBIS and promoting that positive behavior so that they can earn the bucks, so that they can spend the bucks. Once a month, a class will earn from each grade level a pizza party for showing school pride as a whole classroom. And so we also do other things such as popcorn days. I have just invested in a slushy machine and a cotton candy machine because kids love those types of things. And so we'll be promoting that positive behavior, perfect attendance, and things in that nature, and making sure that the kids get the types of incentives that they really enjoy.
After school programs, I know that you have a drama club.
Yes.
Could you just elaborate on some of those different after school programs you have?
First, I'm very grateful to be in a district that really promotes after-school programs, because sometimes kids need something so that they are excited about school and knowing that they're going to be able to do something within the arts. So we do have Tiger-tastic drumming, where kids in 1st and 2nd grade are learning how to drum early. We do have band after school. We have drama club. We have a chess club. We have Sisters with Purpose, which is a girls group organization. This year we just started flag football, and we have a group of 4th and 5th grade girls who are really interested in flag football, and so that has really taken our after school supplementals to a whole nother level.
I know you have golf also.
We have golf, we have bowling. When the season comes, we will have a swim team, a swim club. So yeah.
All right, so it's great that you have so many opportunities for our students here. Let's talk a little bit about leadership. What would you say is your leadership style? What type of leader are you? You've done so much great work. You took 3 styles and put together. You've had different assistant superintendents, but the ship continues to move forward. What would you say is your best asset as a leader?
I would think that I'm the type of leader who likes to be with the people. So I want to do whatever I expect for you to do. I want to be able to do it. Whenever I need to cover a lunch duty, whenever I need to be present for breakfast, whenever I need to be present in a classroom, whenever I need to cover a classroom, whenever I need to help unpack curriculum, I want to be able to contribute and do what it is that I expect everybody else to do. When we have to have those tough conversations with families, or as well as scholars, I want to be treated a certain way. I want to model that respect. And so I think that I am a people person, and that's not a people pleaser, but a people person. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure that I'm treating people like I want to be treated. And so with that being said, yeah.
So what would you tell an aspiring principal, and you have a few in the building, what would be 1 or 2 virtues you would give them as they start their journey?
I would say the work is hard, but the work is fruitful. We want to make sure that our scholars are educated, so we have to stay on top of everything. We have to be able to, which is something that I'm learning to do, delegate things and have people help in areas that you may not always be. Definitely stick with the mission and vision that's at hand. Our mission and our vision is very visible. It speaks to my heart and how I was educated and how I want my daughter educated and how I want to educate the scholars that I come in contact with every day. We are truly creating world-class leaders. So when you can really speak to the vision and mission, then you allow your work to line up with that vision and mission.
So as we conclude this interview, and I appreciate you being our first Striving for 5, our goal as a district to get 5 stars. What is it going to take for the elementary school to get 5 stars?
I'm so glad you asked. What that will take is the continued perseverance of our staff, of our scholars, and definitely of our families. It's going to take family input. So when we say in Warrensville Heights City School District, one team includes every single family that resides in this district. We need more parent support in regards to helping educate our scholars. There's an old saying that it takes a village. It truly takes a village. Warrensville Heights Elementary School will be 5 stars. We need our village to support. We need our parents to make sure that our kids are in school on time every day. We need to make sure that our scholars are doing the extended learning at home, which is homework. We need to make sure that our scholars are reading every day. Reading starts if I have families out there who may be expecting a child, reading starts within the womb. Children are able to hear while they are in womb. When they are born, there are so many different programs. There's the Imagination Library that sends free books up until the age of 5. We want our families to get engaged in learning, involved in learning from birth.
So you hear that. Warrensville is one team, one vision, one goal. Principal Thompson is clearly stating that we need our parents to continue to be our partners in this. This is not us against you. This is us together, ensuring that our kids have everything they need to be successful. So as we conclude this interview, any last words you'd like to give, Ms. Thompson? Any words of wisdom or anything to a parent who's thinking about enrolling in Warrensville Elementary School? Anything you would like to conclude with?
Last words would be, since the day that I walked into Warrensville Heights City School District, we have been on the move, ensuring that our scholars have the best everything. I absolutely love working for this district because I truly see the fruits of my labor in this district. I'm very excited to be the principal of Warrensville Heights Elementary School. However, I could not do anything that I'm doing without the dedication and without the hard work of the staff and the students. So again, together, the staff, the students, and the families, we make that team. We make the dream come true, which is educating our kids and creating world-class leaders.
Well, thank you, Ms. Thompson, for being here today. We appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in to today's Strive for 5 telecast. Stay curious, stay engaged, and remember, one team, one vision, one goal. Until next time, we encourage all our students to strive for 5. Thank you.